And at Castleford in 1987, it's TV's longest rugby league series. This is the 100th scrum down. And just as in our first programme, so in the 100th, it's Castleford taking the field at Weldon Road. And this time, they're going for the championship. They served notice a week ago that they mean business. 40 points, 7 tries against Warrington. The opposition today, St Helens, the leaders. Too good for Leeds last Sunday. In case you think Castleford aren't real title contenders, read the table. Everyone believes St Helens could win it. If Cas can beat them, they'll be only 2 points behind with a game in hand. So today is crucial.
There's still a long way to go, and we've got to win today to stay in the hunt. That's all. They've got away from us at the top of the ladder, and it's important we get the 2 points.
And here's the Vanderveld lineup. Lee Crooks starts the game, along with Graham Steadman, after playing in Great Britain's victory over France yesterday. Graham Southernwood plays his second game in 48 hours. He played for the under-21s on Friday. And Keith England comes into the front row in place of Dean Sampson, who drops the sub. A big day, of course, for Kevin Ward, back on his old stamping ground and surely playing as well as he's ever done. He takes his place in this team, and the big news is the return of Great Britain's Paul Loughlin as substitute for his first senior appearance since breaking an arm in the second game of the season. Alan Hunt scored a try on his Great Britain debut, so like his fellow international Gary Connolly alongside him, he plays his second game of the weekend. And Castleford's Graham Steadman there, relishing this big occasion, is one of 5 men in line for the title Man of 100 Scrum Downs. We'll reveal that later and relive some of our memorable moments along the way. But what better match for our centenary programme than third against first? Castleford against St Helens, David Watkins and John Hell.
It's a terrific match in prospect, Nick, and thanks to one of our most loyal viewers, Reg Wen, for his message in verse, wishing Scrum Down all the best on our way to 200. I can hardly wait. David, really, these are the sort of matches that's got to be excited over 5 years.
They certainly are. The coaches today, both Mike McClellan and Darrell Van der Velde, shrewd, both like playing in expansive games, and both teams are capable of playing good, exciting rugby.
And referee Stuart Cummings from Widnes was straight in there with the first decision of the game in the first 5 seconds of it. Penalty to Castleford, and Graham Steadman has put the ball into touch. Steadman, of course, playing his second game in 24 hours. Such is the durability of today's professional sportsmen. Pitch in good condition here. That was shown by Southernwood. And Bradley, who's impressed in recent weeks after a bit of a dithery start to his Castleford career, came forward, and now it's Lee Crooks piling into the St Helens players. The word is, by the way, that Castleford are on the wagon, at least until they've played their Challenge Cup semi-final against Hull. So it's orange juices all round tonight.
Well, it is a lot to play for, and it's no exception. The league is tough enough anyway.
And Rapati swung an arm in there on Keith England. Steadman kicks into the corner. It's an angle kick which will be fielded by Phil Vivers. Vivers, one of the great servants to a club in rugby league, an Australian who's done marvellously for St Helens. Now it's Anthony Sullivan. Traditionally, matches between these two clubs produce a lot of points, but it's very difficult to say which way it's going to go today. There's perhaps a bit more needle than ever, bearing in mind the respective positions of the two sides. Well,
that's right. It's a hard, tough, unrelenting game, and both these sides do, as I said, play expansive rugby. It'll be interesting to see how the pattern develops.
Bishop moving it along for Vivers to come into the line. The reverse ball is to Connolly, another of those who played at the Boulevard yesterday for his country and now finds himself in club action. The last tackle will give Bishop a chance to swing it out for Vivers, and his kick. Hello, there's a bit of an argy-bargy off the ball there involving Kettridge and Bishop, and the ball was fielded by Steadman. Now it's Crooks. But certainly it was out of your shot a moment ago, but Paul Bishop got himself involved with Martin Kettridge, and that just shows that these two sides are really firmed up for it.
Yes, Kettridge came through the St Helens line there to attack Bishop. Bishop got rid of the ball to another man to kick it forward, and he felt he was late tackled.
It moves so quickly, this game. We've got through the 5 tackles already, and Steadman must kick again. This time it's Vivers, who always looks comfortable on the ball when he makes a catch like that. Alan Hunt, a try scorer on his debut against France. And Bishop is appealing to the referee there to say, let him get up. And this time it's Keith England who's the aggressor on Shane Cooper. Penalty given for holding down.
Well, the tackling is keen already, and both sides have set about each other at a tremendous pace. 3-4 men going into the tackle to close down the play and stop either side moving it out wide.
St Helens have been in great try-scoring form in recent weeks. They were too hot for Leeds last week, and now George Mann brings them up to the Castleford 25. That first score today could be important. Bishop orchestrates once again and brings in Sonny Nicol. Switching the play to Kevin Ward. 10 years he had here at Weldon Road. He was a huge favourite then. They'll be booing him today. You've got to have respect for someone like Ward, though. Bishop along the line. Now it's Cooper and Jonathan Griffiths. Smothered by Tuera Nicow and Grant Anderson. Still the danger is here, however, as Nicow manages to knock the ball out of the hand, and it will be a scrum. Tuera Nicow has been an inspired selection and signing by Darrell van der Velde.
He has. He's come on great. He can make breaks. He's linked up with his forward. His tackling is good. So it's everything you really look for in a loose forward.
But St Helens will have a good chance here. They've got the platform as the ball goes in from Bishop and comes out on the right side for St Helens. Here's Bishop darting under the Nicow tackle, and then Lee Crooks got across, moving with great rapidity. Griffiths, 5 yards out, tries to burrow his way in, and he's right on that Castleford line. 4 more tackles for Castleford to withstand now. It's got to be a good play, the ball, and Bishop, well, he won't be able to touch down from there. It's too close. Now there might be a bit of an opening. Shane Cooper, and he couldn't ground it, and it will be a drop out under the post for Castleford. And again, there's a bit of trouble here, and punch is thrown. Shane Cooper involved. And the referee and touch judges are going to have to get hold of this situation. Tempers have fled right from the first whistle.
But really, both sides have come at each other like dervishes to start off with. The tackling is very keen. Just going through it now. Cooper makes a lunge for the line here. He loses the ball as he went to go over the line. It was then that Kettridge really interfered with him after the ball had left. And the referee was quite right, but it was retaliation on Cooper's part.
Viva shouldn't have too many problems with this. Indeed, he doesn't. Falls to the first tackle, however, of St Helens. It's a lovely bright afternoon at Weldon Road, and the pitch is absolutely perfect, as we said, so there is no reason at all why we shouldn't have tries in the match. And the history is on our side today. I can tell you we've never, ever had a tryless match on Scrum Down. Indeed, very few teams have ever failed to score in games. Ward. Oh, trying to offload there in the tackle, and if Connolly had been a bit closer to him, he might have done. But once more, we've gone through 5 tackles, and Cooper is the kicker this time, asking Nelson to chase back and collect, which he does. David Nelson, very improved player. across the field he comes to run into George Mang.
Tackling on both sides exceptionally good, coming up on the outside of the man, stopping him getting out wide in the field. As a result of it, he's forcing everybody down the middle, and the tackles are good, 2 or 3 at a time.
It's going to require a bit of inspiration from somebody at the moment to break the deadlock in this one. And Crooks, he's still going. He does take some holding, and it's good to see him back in the Great Britain fold. Mike Ford, and excellent work here. Bradley will have the support of Martin Kettridge. Can they set something up now? It's knocked down by Ford and picked up again by Castleford's Middleton. It was a knock-on, and the referee awards the penalty as Middleton picked the ball up there. But that's the first decisive break we've seen in the game, and it came from Graham Bradley.
Yes, it did. The inside ball coming inside for the first time. The defence found wanting. Good backing up as well. Kettridge going through here. Long ball over the top. Wasn't quite taken. Man and ball in the tackle there.
Ward once more. This time he does stand up in the tackle, and Bishop chip ahead, might produce a score now. Castleford get back. Oh, superbly picked up by Nelson behind his own line. He did magnificently then, David Nelson.
Excellent piece of play then by St Helens. Bishop put that kick through then. He couldn't get the pass out to a man either side of him, but superb defensive work then by David Nelson, which really stopped the try.
Just coming up to 25 minutes in the game. And here is Nickow. He's found a bit of a gap, and he's got the ball away, and Richie Blackmore streaks towards the St Helens line. And this might be it for Castleford. Oh, Stedman's put it down, of all people. He'd come to support at the right time, and it's St Helens who break now with Rapati. Met by England, head on. That was good running from Blackmore. And a penalty has been given to St Helens, and the ball is thrown at Keith England's head. And the referee again has to intervene. And Crooksy has something to say about that.
Nickow now looking here. He looks across to see exactly what's on for him. He runs all across the front of the defence here, just looking for that hole. When it does appear, through it he goes, just here. Good ball out. It really now, it's a superb tackle here.
I think you could say it's rather warm down on that pitch at the moment. We expected an intense battle. It could become quite ferocious. Rapati, he's been involved once or twice recently in skirmishes. Cooper reversing it, and Forber streaks onto this pass. That was a good break from the second row man. He's tremendously strong, Paul Forber. What can they do on the last tackle now? Inevitably, Bishop will hoist the ball, and Nelson's been sound under everything so far. He's sound again. He is such an improved player, David Nelson.
Well, that's superb catching under pressure, and that makes an awful lot of difference to the side when you know that somebody can stand under a high ball like that. Despite the opposition coming up towards you, can take it so coolly and save the situation.
There's a dodgy pass he threw out there, Blackmore, and now it's put down. St Helens get the ball as well. This is going to be a great chance for the Saints. They're 10 yards out. It's Bishop, it's Griffiths, it's Mann. And there are chances now as Rapati has got Sullivan outside him, and Sullivan's in! Sullivan's in! Saints break the deadlock. Anthony Sullivan.
After a superb take out of the air by Nelson, it was 2 mistakes that give St Helens the ball. They saw the opportunity to move it out wide because everybody was caught across the wrong side of the field. Superb passing, lovely time pass. Sullivan takes his man on, beats him quite easily and gets over in the corner.
Anthony Sullivan's first try since that brace he got against Leeds in the Silk Cut Challenge Cup. His try number 14 for this season. And he went around Simon Middleton with consummate ease, something which will disturb the Castleford wingman. It's not the first time Rapati has been employed as a goal kicker. though if he converts this one, it will be for the first time. I think you could say he's missed. And I wonder if it might be a problem for St Helens. They lead 4-0 though.
It really was the quick passing of the ball. As I said early on, all the players been down the middle of the field. They saw the opportunity to go on the outside. It gave the winger the chance he wanted, and he made sure of it.
Anthony Sullivan happy enough to be on the try sheet, but one thought does occur to me, and that is that they've got Paul Loughlin on the substitutes bench today, who is a prodigious kicker, of course. Even though this would be his first game in 6 months, they might bring him on just for that reason. Crooks plundering a few yards. Lee Crooks against Kevin Ward. That is some confrontation. When the earth moves. Southernwood. Crooks timed the pass beautifully, and Anderson now gets it out as far as Middleton, who's found a gap somehow. Simon Middleton, excellent work from him. Falling to the tackle of Beavers, as a good fullback should do. He was in the line there. Ford misses out Steadman. Crooks instead. The timing of the pass important here, and Blackmore puts it down. And Castleford are just not stringing it together at the moment.
Well, they've done that on a number of occasions. Their defence has been called along for long periods of the game. When they have had the opportunity to move the ball, they've lost it on 2 or 3 play the balls and really haven't put any pressure on the St Helens defence.
It was exemplary fullback play again from Phil Beavers. Now Groves moves it out to his right to the willing man. Groves moves it to his left now for Griffiths. Rapati. Griffiths has moved in here twice. And knocked down, and Ellis came to pick it up. And a penalty might well be given here to Castleford, because Ellis was certainly impeded by Paul Bishop and didn't like it. The referee rightly awarded the penalty to the home side, and Lee Crooks opts for a kick at goal. Paul Bishop the offender.
A wise decision by Lee Crooks then, because they have been under a lot of pressure. If he does kick this, I mean, it halves the deficit anyway to start with, but it'll also give them points on the board and something to think about themselves. They haven't played well in attack, although their defence has been quite commendable.
This should be well within Lee Crooks' capabilities. He planted half a dozen between the sticks last week. And from Lee Crooks' boot, it's soaring between the sticks. Castleford are on the board with their first points of the afternoon. It's Castleford 2, St Helens 4. And I'm sure Malcolm Reilly, watching from the main stand, will be delighted with the form of his prop forward, who I would think is a certainty for the tour. Crooks, along the line it is, from Ford, and this is St John Ellis now, who's still standing up in the tackle and looking to supply the ball for Bradley. Taken over his head by Crooks. On for Steadman, linking up beautifully. Steadman gets it away from Mike Ford, and this is much better from Castleford. Up comes Middleton, round the man he goes. Simon Middleton cutting in field. He did well to stay in play there, he really did, and took some hauling down. And now it's St Helens who are in trouble as the ball fizzes along the line, and a penalty is given against St Helens. I think it might have been Cooper. Ford's complaining to Mr Cummings that he was about to set up a try-scoring opportunity, but the penalty has been given. Crooks again says he's going to kick for goal and try and square the score. Terrific run by Middleton, though.
It really was. That was good rugby by Castleford. The first time they've really had a chance to link up with people, and he really does run well. I mean, it was Mike Ford. Steadman started it all from the back of the field, but really that was good backing up by Ford. And really, when he came down, it was a superb pass out to him. Middleton did the right thing now, comes in off the touchline, not to be knocked into touch. Whilst he was knocked down by the cover defence, it really did mean he'd set up a good advantage point.
And Lee Crooks tries to capitalise on that excellent work by Middleton. with his second kick in the space of a couple of minutes. It's a slightly more acute angle. He must beware not to drift it right across the face of goal. But he looks to have landed a beauty here. Oh, it's off the upright, and that was so unlucky for Castleford, and Nicholas held the ball. Well, match results hinge on things like that.
It was a little unfortunate to hit the post then, but it really was a good strike of the ball.
It's Cooper. It's Nicholl once more. Strong running from Sonny Nicholl. And it's the last tackle. Bishop tries to kick through. Fielded over his own line yet again by Nelson, who's done really well here. Nelson, he's had an outstanding first half. He
certainly has. His defence and his awareness as well. He came in to take that man when the interception nearly took place just before that, but he's recovered quite a bit.
Great burst from Tawera and Nikau, and this is Castleford's opportunity. St Helens, he just couldn't squeeze the ball away. Otherwise, Anderson was on his way to the line. Mike Ford is now. Here's Ford for Castleford. They've only got 60 seconds left in which to contrive a try, though. Brooks spinning it left. Steadman. Here's Blackmore now, very strong. Gets the ball away still for Bradley. This time it's coming through the hands of Crooks to England, to Kettridge and Anderson, and it might be a score for Grant Anderson. Pulled down no more than 3 yards from the Saints line, and he's knocked on. And that is a decisive moment, I'm sure.
Their counter-attack has been good all afternoon, but it's England's really taken on the brunt of the defence here, gets the ball out. Anderson now takes the ball on, runs in, the defence closes down on him. He's pulled to the ground, and just watch, the ball is knocked out of his hands.
And Cooper decides on the little chip ahead this time. It's going to be fielded by Ford. He's had a growing influence on the game after a quiet opening 15 minutes. So Nelson gets involved once more, having vacated his left wing position to come across to the middle. It's half-time at Weldon Road. Well, in the past on scrum down, St Helens have lost out a couple of times to Castleford, but at half-time today, they're in front by 4 points to 2, having registered the only try of that first half through their left wingman Anthony Sullivan. There he is going off. And Castleford's only points of this half coming from the boot of Lee Crooks. It's all set up for the second half. It's Castleford 2, St Helens 4. We'll have that second half after the break. Welcome back to Weldon Road. The scoreline again for you is Castleford 2, St Helens 4. St Helens coming out first. And we have an opportunity now to hear from Great Britain coach Malcolm Reilly with Nick.
Malcolm, for the 100 scrum down, plenty of quality to admire out there.
I would think the spectator getting good value. St Helens put a lot of early pressure on Castleford, and Castleford, to be fair, they were patient, they sustained that pressure, and they've finished in this first half the better of the two teams.
Second match you've seen this weekend, of course. What did you learn from Great Britain's victory over France yesterday on the positive side?
Well, one of our main objectives was to nil the French team, so we got a good defensive display. But some lads did themselves the world of good. Alan Hunt, of course, who's playing today, ran very strongly. Surprisingly enough, he's backing up again today, so is Lee Crooks. You know, I really don't know how they do it, but they are good professionals, and as far as yesterday's game concerned, we got some good positive attributes from it.
Crystal ball time, finally. Where's your money today?
Well, I hope that it continues to be a good game, and I think the adventurous team probably will, the more confident team will win. But at this stage, they're both playing superb football. I'm really not going to commit myself.
Well, as we restart, David, are you going to commit yourself?
Well, it's very difficult to commit yourself, but I think Saints are really the better side at the moment. I think they have all round have had more possession, used it more sensibly. But there again, Cass are so good on the counter-attack. It will be interesting. At this moment, I would still think Saints are ahead in ability and opportunity.
These are the statistics of the first half. Only 4 scrums so far, of which St Helens have taken 3. And neither hooker took one against the head. The penalties a concession of 6 by either side. And Castleford have made a lot more handling errors. 9 against St Helens 4. Now that will have figured heavily in Daryl van der Veld's team talk at half-time. Ford. was a bit pedestrian. It was Keith England who took the pass. It didn't really quite work out, so he switched it left again, and Steadman holds it, and Steadman gives it for Anderson. Hauled down critically by Gary Connolly. Good moments for Castleford, and David Nelson has got no room in which to manoeuvre whatsoever, so he's come right across the field, and now he straightens. Didn't really make any ground in terms of getting closer to the line.
I think what he has done is given them an opportunity to play at either side of the play of the field.
He has, and Ford puts that astute little grubber kick in, and it's gone dead. And straight into the hoarding goes that St Helens man. It's just obscured from my view. Oh, it's the loose forward, Shane Cooper. And that was an awful crack on the head.
Well, the kick was put through here because the defence was bound to go up very, very quickly. It was a good kick. It ran a little far. Cooper had it well covered. Here now, when they slipped or pushed, as Lee Crooks pushed him into the hoardings, he banged his head. Just watch it again. The kick was a great kick through there, but Cooper had it well covered. But the ball is definitely going over the line. Crooks really comes into him then, and there was no doubting how heavily he hit the hoardings.
And of course there are very hard railings at the back of that advertising hoarding as well. Shane Cooper, I think, is protesting. But he's staying on, as is Lee Crooks. What a hard and very physical game this is. Now, time will have been added on for that. The referee stops the clock in situations like that. So the supporters won't lose any action. They'll get their full 40 minutes worth.
I think it must be said at the start of the second half, Saints have lost some of their fire. They're not driving as hard as they were in the first half. But also has to be said, of course, is they haven't had much of the ball.
No, they haven't. But at least neither of these sides has played during the week. That sometimes just take the edge off a team. Even though one or two individuals played yesterday, now it's still no way through for Rapati. Bishop will attempt the chip, and this time Nelson made sure he didn't touch the ball, which was wise. Let's hear from Nick Powell on the touchline.
Nick Morgan, how happy are you with the way the second half's going so far?
Well, obviously we're still behind, but I think we've turned this pressure into points. There's still half an hour to go, and I think we'll end up winning at the end of the day.
Did you ask them to change anything at half-time?
No, not really. Just keep going as they're going, keep pressure on. We'd stood all their pressure in first half, begging at the best shots, and we're coming only 4-2 down, so obviously we can put them on the same pressure, we think they'll crack.
But Crooks has got a brilliant pass away in the tackle to Anderson. That was superbly done, and that's where he's such a good distributor, Lee Crooks. Southernwood, Nickow, chances now, Nickow, gets good, Bradley moving forward. He's romping towards the Saints line, and it's desperate defending from St Helens at the moment. Ford's pulling the strings. Desperate straits for St Helens as they defend against Nickow once more. St Ellis, he's not found a way through.
Was it a confidence booster talk by Darren Valdevelle, because he's now suddenly saying, come on, let's run at them, and they certainly are doing that, and Saints are caught really time and time again now with people coming up the middle of the field.
And yet again he's going to be nailed behind his own line, and that's good work from Castleford. Crooks is played off. It seems an eternity since St Helens were in the other half.
It really is a reversal of the halves, because this is how Saints did it in the first half and put a lot of pressure on St Helens, and Castleford are now doing the same thing, and they're doing it wisely.
It's being played like a cup tie. Bradley let the ball hit him to make sure he didn't knock on. He's had a strong running game in the second row. His form has certainly picked up in recent weeks. Kettridge, his second row colleague now, takes play to within the St Helens 25. Ford, they're strung deeper across the line now as Anderson brings Nickow into it. Oh, and an interception by Gary Connolly, and if Connolly makes it all the way, this might just be a clincher for St Helens. Gary Connolly scores from nothing. And after all the Castleford pressure, it's St Helens who score.
heartbreaking moment because Castres were on the move and this man Nick Howe has done so much. It was that pass to St Helens, which never looked like going to him, allowed Gary Connolly to pick it up. We said he played yesterday. Did he have the pace to sustain it? Yes, he does, because there's no way anyone's going to catch him, and he makes the touchdown.
Connolly again diving for his glory. 19 tries for him this season now. He scored last week against Leeds and another one now against Castleford in such a tight game might prove of great consequence. Bishop has resumed kicking duties. We shall see whether it's with any more success. Remember, both these sides looking to sustain a challenge on Wigan at the top of the Stones Bitter Championship. Paul Bishop, and it's curving away, and still they can't convert their tries. They've got the only 2 of the game though, and that could be significant. It's yes, 2 points to 8.
Castleford have started to play a more expansive game. They moved it out through Nick Howe. His pass to St Helens didn't go to hand. Connolly intercepts and races away. Nick Howe tries to make up for the mistake that he knows he's made, but Connolly leaves him for dead and goes over for a try.
Castleford make the first change in bringing on Dean Sampson, adding his weight to the pack. There's Keith England who's gone off. Still a lot of work for Castleford to do, and I wonder if Darryl van der Belt can get the messages down to the touch line that he wants. He'd certainly got a loud message there to impart. It's Southernwood who picks it up and switches play for Crooks. He's got to get a good ball in and couldn't, and Groves dribbles it away. And once again, Castleford have failed to capitalise, but they have got a penalty kick.
That was a good decision by the referee then, because Groves made no attempt to get back onside. He stood in the middle when the man went to pass the ball. He knocked it down, and the referee quite rightly penalised him.
It's imperative for Castleford they get a try soon. Here they come, they've built the platform. Sampson tears it to the St Helens rear guard, and now, no more than 8 or 9 yards out, they look for this score, their first. It's not often a side holds Castleford for as long as this in a match. St Helens have withstood everything for an hour, but now Crooks gives it short for Bradley. Maybe too short. No, Sampson's still here with the ball. It was fairly high, but the referee signalled it was around the chest area. I think that was fair enough. So instead, Crooks. Oh, this might be one now, Bradley! Oh, he just can't get the ball down. He couldn't twist and get himself down over the line. He was there all right. That really sums up the way Castleford's afternoon has gone so far. He tries to dribble through for a score. Crooks tries to get in. He's got there. Lee Crooks puts his hand down, and Castleford have got the try. Quick thinking Crooks.
Well, he was held over the line, but what was good thinking that? Pushed the ball forward. Look, George Mann goes for it. It must be said he tried to pick it up and not touch it down, and the referee was quite right in giving Crooks the try.
He certainly was, and he's never stopped with his endeavours this afternoon, Lee Crooks, and it's really set us up now for the finish of this game. It's 8-6 to St Helens, with the kick to come. Well, perhaps it was inevitable that if Castleford were going to get a try, it would come from a very obscure way, and that wasn't the sort you'd have predicted. But they all count the same.
No, it wasn't, but George Mann will be kicking himself because he could have dropped on that ball quite easily there. What he did try to do was to pick it up.
Lee Crooks from the right of the uprights, that's the left of your picture, attempts to bring the scores level. Here he comes now. You hear the roar if it goes over. He's chipped it through. And it's Castleford 8, St Helens 8. And have we got a match in our hands for our 100th scrum down now? And so Castleford at long last managed to get that 56th try that they've produced in scrum down matches. Griffiths goes. Terrific run from Jonathan Griffiths. It was the last line of defence that caught him, namely Graham Steadman, and a penalty is awarded to St Helens. this might be their chance. And straight away, the sand appears for the kick at goal.
Well, a tremendous run here by Jonathan Griffiths. He wheels in and outside tacklers. Ford gets pushed off here. He still keeps going. He's now thrown to the floor here. It's sure when the ball is ripped away from him by the tackler that the referee was on the spot. Graham Steadman the culprit. The referee has awarded a penalty. This could tip the scales.
It's not the most difficult kick I've ever seen, but Paul Bishop hasn't kicked one as yet today. He only wants to kick one, maybe. Oh, and it's an awful effort. It really is a dreadful effort. Bradley has still managed to get the pass in, but then it's knocked on and picked up for St Helens, and that could be a tragic mistake. Nicol, out it goes for Sullivan, the try scorer in the first half. Castleford get back to defend their line. That could have been a dreadful consequence of a mistake. Bishop is not going for a drop goal now, but Ward breaks into the 25, and it's St Helens who set themselves up for a finale here. It's Paul Forber. He's been known to drop a goal or two in his time as well. They must watch for that Bishop drop goal again. Instead it comes right. Now Cooper flings out the longer ball for Alan Hunt. Can't get round his man, but he has got Griffiths supporting. Held in Nelson's tackle. Then the last tackle comes, and they must watch out. Forber screaming for the ball in the middle. Bishop goes for the drop, and he's missed it, but Castleford still have to hold it. Ellis does, and Ellis now sets off. And a rousing finish to the game. And I suppose it would be a shame for either side to lose it now. Commitment has never been less than 100% on both sides. There must surely be only seconds left. And St Helens will have the put into the scrum. 30 seconds left. Vivas showed it, gave it to Connolly. And Castleford have to withhold now. They have to stand strong and true against this last Castleford St Helens assault. Connolly held up. Again, they must watch for that drop goal. But in fact, the referee signals that the game is over and it's ended 8 points apiece. And so the 100th scrum down, perhaps appropriately, ends with a drawn game between two of the top sides in Rugby League. It's ended Castleford 8, St Helens 8. Let's hear from Lee Crooks, who must be exhausted after his second game in 2 days, but perhaps happy with a fair result.
I suppose at the end of the day you could say it's a fair result. We're very disappointed. I think that, you know, we had chances where we could have won the game. Unfortunately, you know, we didn't take them chances, and you know, the lads are very upset at the moment because I'd like to see the penalty count, but Christ, I think we're on the wrong end of it today.
Well, you got to try.
Well, we've got to try, and you know, I suppose it's nice, and a point's better than no points at all, but to be fair, we should have had 2 points. You know, I think that obviously we've got this pinching the ball in a tackle rule, and you know, I don't think it will apply today.
Thanks for listening. Well done. Cheers. Thank you.
Those are the bare statistics of the game. Castleford 8, St Helens 8, a try by Lee Crooks, who also kicked 2 goals. And for St Helens, no goals at all, but the 2 tries from Anthony Sullivan and from Gary Connolly.
Mike, if you're going to win the championship, you're not going to have many harder games than that one.
No, that may have impeded our championship aspirations. It possibly certainly has Castleford's. But a very dour struggle. There was a lot of intensity in that match.
Very hard. They came at us with all guns blazing, and I thought first half, you know, we probably just snatched it, but they went in as leaders, and we did well to come back in the end.
A remarkable testimony for people like Graham Steadman and Lee Crooks, Gary Connolly, of course, Alan Hunt, to play 2 games like that in 24 hours.
Yeah, Graham Sutherland did as well. He played on Friday night, so especially Crooks, you know, winning the man of the match, and the way he played, it was a great effort, and he's obviously a very fit man.
Great support for you today from the St Helens supporters, who really are praying that you can win the title.
Well, it is because, you know, we're out of the cup. and you know, the only best thing is to be to win the championship, and that's the #1 team in England, and right now that's our priority, and you know, we'll be focusing on that.
This is today's match analysis. 13 scrums in all, 7 healed by Castleford's Southernwood, 6 by St Helens' Paul Groves, with the usual non-statistic of no scrums going against the head. Referee Cummings awarded a total of 21 penalties in a fast and sometimes brutal encounter. 9 of those were against Cass, 12 when the Saints were sinners. Errors were about par for the course, Castleford making 5 more than St Helens.
And one more statistic. We asked you last week how many tries were scored in the first 99 scrum-down matches. And the answer, 633. Congratulations to Stephen Carney from Leeds, who came the nearest, and he went to the test match in Hull as his prize. Now, the prize for this man, Dave Hardacre from Hessel, was a day with scrum-down. The first to recognise Brian Noble in a recent jigsaw, he joined us at a special lunch today, when the other guests included some of the most familiar names in rugby league to mark the scrum-down centenary. Well, now the moment when we reveal our man of 100 scrum-downs. We've narrowed down our final choice to 5 men, each one a rich source of entertainment. There's Gary Schofield of Leeds, master of the opportunist try.
Oh yeah.
Then there's Ellery Hanley, rarely less than devastating for Wigan, Leeds and Great Britain. Featherstone's Derek Fox, consistently inventive, so often a scrum-down man-of-the-match winner. Martin Afire, electric speed that makes him a try-scorer supreme.
Oh yeah.
And Graham Steadman, impossible to pin down and seems to save his very best for us. So there they are, Schofield, Steadman, Fox, Afire, Hanley. The difficult job of picking one goes to David Watkins, who's been with us since the very start. David.
Man of 100 scrum-downs, Martin Afire. His contribution has undoubtedly given the game a greater dimension. 28 tries on scrum-down for Widnes, Wigan and Great Britain. Perhaps the best of all these, the one for Widnes against Wigan, 1989. Widnes winning the championship.
So, congratulations to Martin Afire, whose rugby league career began, of course, in the same season as scrum-down. I wonder who will emerge as the dominant figure in our next 100 programmes. We haven't forgotten today's headlines, and John Bentley's 2 first-half tries set Leeds on the path to a thrilling victory over Widnes. Frano Botica, a try and 6 goals against Hulkingston Rovers as Wigan go top. 2 tries for under-21 star Dean Busby in his second game of the weekend as Hull warm up nicely for the Cup. The results, Castleford 8, St Helens 8. Leeds 40, Widnes 28, a hat-trick in defeat for John Devereux. Wakefield 14, Halifax 19, victory snatched by a Warren Wilson try in the last minute. Warrington 12, Hull 22. Wigan 28, Hulkingston Rovers 10. Wigan ahead of St Helens on points difference with 2 games in hand. Castleford stay 3rd and Leeds up to 4th, and they, like Wigan, have played fewer games than the rest of the top 5. The key match at the bottom comes on Wednesday when Bradford meet Featherstone. Hull and Halifax have each taken a big step towards safety. In Division 2, Barry Ledger runs in 4 tries as Lee extend their lead at the top. 3 results: Lee 68, Workington 6. Oldham 20, Carlisle 17. Rydale York 8, London Crusaders 14. Lee now 5 points clear, but Sheffield can gain more ground by beating Rochdale tomorrow. Rydale York and Workington have had their fates more or less sealed today. In Division 3, Chris Chapman's hat-trick at Keighley helps Huddersfield stay top. Here's how they finished in the 3rd Division. Barrow 4, Dewsbury 28. Batley 36, Scarborough 18. Highfield 6, Bramley 36. Hunslet 28, Chorley 10, a hat-trick for Paul Carr. Keighley 6, Huddersfield 30. And Trafford Borough against Whitehaven postponed because Trafford couldn't raise a team. Huddersfield stay on top on points difference with a game in hand over Bramley, but Dewsbury's victory at Barrow could be the day's most significant. They too have a game in hand over Bramley, and they're now only 3 points behind. Next week, it's resurgent Leeds against the leaders Wigan at Headingley. A heavyweight start to our 2nd century of scrum downs. As for the first 100, it's a tribute to rugby league that there's something to remember from every single programme. Good night.
John Fifita, just inches from the line, he's going to get over. Now the chip over the top, and Mike Smith on his 400th appearance, he's in for the try. If he can take this one, he's going to score his first international try. Martin a fire in the corner.
Are you impressed?
No, I'm not his mum, I'm a Ferguson supporter.
Oh, very sorry.
let them players get up off the floor next week, because I'll be up.
Millwood, the curtain comes down after 25 years.
Мы набираемся опыта здесь в третьем дивизионе, поэтому для нас каждая игра — это школа.
I love the way they play here, you know, open rugby, and it's good fun, I should say.
Scrum Down and Stones Bitter, bringing you the best in rugby league.